Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Juan Carlos Brando, and again, I'm joining you with the show of the attorney Margaret W. Wong, who is working on this field for over 45 years, and she's ready to answer your immigration questions. So, if you have any questions, please don't forget that you can send your question to our Facebook Live or to our YouTube Live. You can also call the phone number 216 279 3984, 216 279 3984, and the attorney Margaret W. Wong will be so happy to answer your immigration questions. And don't forget that this show is absolutely free, it's completely free. You don't have to pay not even 1 cent for this consultation over the internet, over this show with the attorney Margaret W. Wong. Good afternoon, Ms. Wong. Thank you for having us today. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong. Well, so many concerns for the people or excitement coming out of the news, and all of the media are always giving information to people that sometimes is true, sometimes it's just fake news. Other times is not even fake news, but it's like the media, the mass media, put stuff bigger than it should be. So, what are your thoughts about that today?
I feel bad because one of the head, in fact, the head of the department was actually retiring or effective immediately because rumor is that he was forced out because he had letting too many people to come in, which I feel very bad about that. People's careers are at stake. And you couldn't just fire people because, oh, they let too many people into America. They don't let enough people in. Immigration is weird. It's a field where you're doomed if you don't, and you're doomed if you do. So, for example, we have a lot of rich clients who have housekeepers, who have babysitters, or people who do their yard, and they'll call me and say, oh, can you really help me? I'm helping this young man. He's trying to get his father a green card, and can you help me because I don't know why America doesn't give the poor father a green card. He's already 60 some years old. So once I checked into it, I said that's when lawmakers have to make changes. There's no way to help the father have a green card because it's an illegal entry or perm bar. So it's doomed, because if on the other hand, they are in a position to make changes, but they don't want to come out and say they want to make changes. Then the public will say, oh, you're hiding an illegal, this and that. On the other hand, if people, they're stopped from entry at the border, like a lot of, in the olden days, Mexicans, now it's more the Venezuelans, the Central Americans. Now they say, oh, you're letting too many people come, and they fire them. So it's a doomed, if you try to help, it's doomed that you don't let them in. It's doomed that you let them in and now they have no papers. So immigration is a very difficult, it's just like the gun control people, the head of the gun agency. You're doomed if you give out too many licenses for guns because American public were murdered by guns. You're also doomed if you don't give enough because the amendment of the Constitution in America says that people have a right to bear guns. So it's that's a problem with democracy. It's not like in China. Xi Jinping wants to build a highway. It doesn't matter. He wants it, he's going to get it. He's going to close the whole city of Shanghai. He's going to close it. It doesn't matter what you guys think. He has autocratic power. But not in India. India, you can't even get cows off the street because cows are holy and you can't get them off. So you're driving on a highway at 80 miles per hour, a cow came in to stop because it doesn't matter, everybody is driving, you have 100 cars behind, the cow is there, you're stopping. So that's a problem also with democracy here. It's a good problem.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for your answer. And yeah, we always have a lot of questions regarding to immigration, and it's there is always going to be a rumor from people saying, "Well, this person resigned, or these people this person retired or quitted just because they were asked to do it. But what is the truth? Only they know. Only they know it. So we will never know, but it's a lot of tension down there in the border, either the southern border and the northern as well in Canada. So, Ms. Wong, if you are ready for questions, we should start now.
Great.
Okay, so let's
Yes.
start with the first question. It says, "Hi, I got asylum granted through my parents. Now I'm 19. I have my green card. My passport from my country is expired. Can I travel overseas with my expired passport? I am from Venezuela and want to travel to Colombia."
There is a re-entry permit. You won't get a passport from Venezuela. Number one, you want asylum, even though from your parents, but Venezuela now is not giving you passports. So get a re-entry permit. All you have to do is go on the uscis.gov internet, fill out the I-131. It takes anywhere between 9 months to 1.5 years. But if you show them a travel ticket that you are definitely going and coming, then maybe they will expedite it. You may want to put on top expeditious requests, expeditious handling requests. They may or may not, but show them your travel document, your travel ticket, and tell them you're from Venezuela and you have no passport. They know, Venezuela would not extend your passport because you got your green card through your parents' asylum. Absolutely filed the I-131. The question is, will they agree to expedite? If not, don't travel until you get that 2-year re-entry permit. And don't go back to Venezuela, only go to Colombia.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for this answer. Don't forget that the attorney Margaret W. Wong has over 45 years of experience and she has offices in 9 cities of the United States: Atlanta, Chicago, Columbus, Cleveland, Memphis, Minneapolis, Nashville, New York, and Raleigh, North Carolina. And the phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. Ms. Wong, the next question is, hi, I work for an important bank in Europe, which is based also in the United States. Can I apply for transference to the United States?
Yes, you
For
can
all,
apply. If it's also a bank in America, you can maybe see if the bank is a registered e-visa country. How does the people, what you're asking is, can you do an L1A visa or L1B? The answer is yes. If your company is willing to sponsor you for an L1A or L1B, absolutely do ahead. L1A, you have to be managerial or executive. L1B is a priority specialized knowledge. You may also qualify for an e-visa if the company is a registered e-company in the American Embassy overseas. And your family can come as an L2 or as a E2, depends on the e-visa status. And both L2 and E2 can get work permit. The children cannot get work permit, but they could attend public schools. The spouse on both L and E could get work permit. And L1A is good for 7 years. E2 is good for every 2 years, up to 5 years, or actually up to forever. But sometimes it's STEM, depends on country, for 5 years. Sometimes it's STEM for 2 years.
okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for this answer. Don't forget the phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. The next question is, hi, ma'am. My entry to the United States was denied. Will this affect my visit visa to Turkey?
I don't understand your question. My entry visa in United States, that means, do you mean you never came to America? Your application on the DS-160 was denied. If you never came to America, you would not affect your visa to Turkey. If you came here and your extension was denied, it also would not affect, because Turkey have their own immigration rules or visitor rule. America have our own, Canada have their own. So that's why if you can clarify what visa was denied where, I can maybe give you a better answer. But I don't think any denial would affect Turkey because that's another country.
Yes, I think that's the sense of the question, Ms. Wong. That she tried to come to the United States and her entry was denied. So I think she has a visa, a tourist visa to go to Turkey, and she wants to know if somehow this denial to the United States could affect her if she wants to go to Turkey.
The answer is it would not affect your visit to Turkey.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong. Next question is: hello, I am from India. Can I establish a business in the United States?
Yes, depends on what your purpose is. You can always buy IBM stocks. You just cannot work in IBM. You could establish a business here, but you cannot stay here and you cannot work in the business.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong. Um, so this person is adding, an Indian officer denied my entry in Washington, D.C., and I want to go to Turkey for New Year. I am confused if Turkey refused my visa because of my travel history.
Turkey should not and probably will not review your visa because of the denial in your Washington, D.C. airport.
Okay, thank you so much. So, if you have any other questions, please don't forget that you can text or you can call the office. The phone number is 216-279-3984. 216-279-3984. Another person here is asking, my fiance is in Mexico and I would like to get married as soon as possible. What is the best option for me to go to Mexico and get married there, or to bring her to the United States and marry here once we are um, together here in the United States?
There are two ways to come. There are three ways to do it. Number
Ms. Wong, I can give people some comments if you need some water. You're good.
three, yes, thank you, sir.
Okay.
We have three ways to come to America. One is if your fiance can apply for a tourist visa. If she can come to America, the question is entry. I have this fiance, I have this wife, I have whoever I have in Mexico. How could I come? The three ways to come for a fiance. Number one, come as a tourist visa. And if she could come, then afterwards you change your mind. You guys can marry after 90 days, and then she can come and she can become a green card through adjustment of status. The second way to come to America is through a fiance visa. Depends. You have to have met her within within the past 2 years, which I'm sure you have because Mexico is right next to us. Then you file for a K-1 visa. To get a K-1 visa, you have to file with I-129F. And then it'll take her 9 months to 1.5 to 2 years to come to America. So number three is to apply for a marriage case, which means that you have to go to Mexico, apply for a marriage case visa. It will take about 1.5 right now because of COVID, but Biden just announced most embassies should be open to welcome legitimately applied for visa. So I presume the green card from Mexico should take at least 1 to 1.5 years. So these are three ways to come to America.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for your answer. And by the way, I'm having a very nice coffee here in my desk.
I got
which
mine
is,
too. We'll toast with our coffee.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
This
you.
is a beautiful mug that was given to me by one of the staff members in the office in Cleveland. So thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And this is
Toast.
always a very good coffee. By the way, that the coffee in the office is awesome. I cannot forget how many coffees I had during my stay in the city of Cleveland. So thank you so much. Okay, Ms. Wong, this next question says, um, good evening. I entered to the United States on ESTA. I have been here for 60 days. I must leave the country by 11/27. What happens if I overstay my ESTA? Thank you.
One thing easy about ESTA is a 90-day visa, no extension of stay, no change of status. A lot of European visas. That's why a lot of people from South America, like Mexicans or Central America, they'll get passports from Spain or Italy because a lot of their grandparents, parents are from that part of the world. So Italy, Spain, they all have ESTA. They can come for 9 days. On 89th day or 80th day, you need to leave the country. You can always come back. Nowadays, with America the way it is, because America immigration is becoming tighter and tighter. I don't know what country you're from, but I do not recommend you to overstay. Years ago, everybody overstay, even the British people. They'll come, who cares to overstay, and one day they go back, they come back. Nowadays, overstay visa, you're technically barred. Because if you overstay more than 180 days, you cannot come back in 3 years. If you overstay more than 360 days, you cannot come back for 10 years. Immigration have no discretion. They only have about 30, 60-day discretion. So for example, I'm stopped when I had a car accident. Police call immigration saw I'm ESTA, they have a right to deport us right away. ESTA people have no right to see a judge. It's not like if you're on a tourist visa, you overstay for 3 years, at least we can see the judge. And the judge can determine our fate. ESTA, no discretion. So immigration cannot even say, oh, I feel so bad for you. You have a 3-year-old child here. You're pregnant. Your husband is abusive. Immigration may be abused as something, but aside from that, ESTA is a tough visa to stay. Since you still have the chance, and since you're waiting, if you listen to me, you may want to go back, but you can always come back. When you come back, buy a round trip ticket so they'll allow you to come back. My recommendation is don't overstay. Those overstays are gone, like even 5-6 years ago, who cares, but Obama became the deporter in chief. And before Obama, there was so many jobs. Nowadays, even if you have ESTA, it's hard to get a job because to get a really good job for construction, most people now at least want a social. ESTA, you cannot get a social, which is hard.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And yeah, well, this is one of the opportunities that you have to come to the United States without a tourist visa, but then there are some restrictions that apply for people that come in with ESTA, which is uh, electronic system application uh, for well, I forgot what they stand for, but I read it just 2 days ago. Yeah, I forget electronic system.
Yeah, you pay $12. They take a fingerprint, and on the form they ask you, was there any visa that was denied? So, for example, your student visa was denied, tourist visa was denied. They won't give you an ESTA. So most ESTA people they came to America and it was approved every 2 years because you have no other record. That's why it's called an electronic. They only started this electronic about 5 or 6 years ago. Because years and years ago, Korea doesn't have it, Japan doesn't have it. In the past few years, they added a lot of countries, like all the EU. A lot of them have ESTA. Italy have ESTA. It used to be a high fraud. Once they have ESTA, it became low fraud. Like Korea used to be high. Philippines still don't have E. Hong Kong don't have E or ESTA. But slowly, once America immigration trusts the people from these countries, they will give us an e-visa.
Electronic system for travel authorization
Yes.
is what ESTA stands for. Okay, the next question is: Hi, I am from Brazil. I know Brazilian steakhouses are very famous in the States. Would that be a good ground for an investment?
Absolutely. Yes. You're talking about there are two types of investment visa. I don't remember if Brazil have an e-visa, but another investment visa is $800,000 investing. So if you invest $800,000 in a steakhouse, or invest in a company who helps you to invest this, you may even get your money back after 5 years. If a company includes it. But right now, there's no more regional center until new laws come in. You can direct invest. Absolutely, you can do investment visa.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for this answer. And for everybody who has joined us today, don't forget that the attorney Margaret W. Wong is traveling across the country, across the United States of America. She has offices in 9 cities of this country: Atlanta, Columbus, Cleveland, Chicago, Memphis, Minneapolis, Nashville, New York, and Raleigh, North Carolina. And the phone number is 216-279-3984. 216-279-3984 is the phone number that you need to call in order to talk to the attorney Margaret W. Wong. So please don't forget that she has shows on Wednesdays at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time in Spanish, and in English on Thursdays at this time, 12:30 p.m. is the time that she gets connected to the Facebook Live and YouTube Live, and you can ask your questions live and free. Thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And the next question is: a person from Afghanistan need to file for asylum?
Afghanistan, and I'm really sorry about that. American Embassy and also the State Department are denying 95 to 98% of paroles from asylum from Afghanistan nationals. If you're already in America, you can file for asylum. If you're outside of America, asylum could only be filed inside America. So I don't know if you're in America or out of America, but if you're in America in less than 1 year, you could file for asylum.
They are stating that the person is in America, Ms. Wong.
Oh, yes, then you can file for asylum.
Okay, so now I have a question. What happens if this person is already in the United States but never filed asylum? They only had the condition of maybe refugees or something. They still needed to file for asylum, and what happens?
If they come as a refugee, they do not need to file for asylum because even if you want asylum, you can only file for green card 1 year after the final grant. If you come as a refugee, you can apply for green card right away. If you come as a parole, like we thought that's why a lot of not-for-profits are helping Afghanistans to do parole, but most of them are denied. So depends on what you file. If you're outside of 1 year, for example, you've been here 5 years, 10 years, and you never filed, you can claim change of country condition because Afghanistan just fell. On the other hand, it's more than a year. So because reasonable time after you came and 1 year filing. So if you missed the 1 year, you need to explain why. But absolutely, you can file.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And this other person is asking an interesting question. And now that we have been talking about the TPS for the last week and a half, we know that it was renewed for El Salvadorians, also was extended for Venezuelans, which they needed or we needed the re-registration. But Haiti has had TPS since the earthquake in 2010. Now, they have been renewed or extended as well, as I understand. But there's this person is asking, I am from Haiti, never filed TPS.
That's a very good question. Why didn't you file it? When did you come to America? All you have to do is check the USCIS.gov and check when's the late filing. Because normally, even for El Salvador, Venezuela, because it's too new, they don't have a late filing yet. But you need to check the USCIS.gov and see when will you qualify for late filing. It could be you never filed because you came too late. And if on the web they tell you can still file, go ahead and file it. It's just like DACA. You can file, the 5 conditions are met, but if you didn't file, now you file, you won't be approved. So you need to go on your web. Because each country have different laws regarding late filing and the date of entry. For example, I talked to someone this morning who's from Venezuela but came to America legally on an Italian passport. She came 3 days after the Venezuelan TPS. So definitely she could not apply for TPS. Then could she file for asylum? Then we have to prove she cannot come from 2 countries. So you need to check your late filing for TPS.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong. Yeah, it's interesting But I think some people from Haiti didn't know that they could file TPS, or they never paid attention. Ms. Wong, there's something interesting about the immigrant community, especially from Central America, South America, the Caribbean, that sometimes we don't do the stuff we need to do because we don't know. That's the thing. We don't know that we can do something, and then when we want to pay attention to that, it's already late. So maybe this, and that's because some people just come to work and work and work and work, and we don't worry about what else is happening around us.
Mhm.
So this could be the reason why a person from Haiti never filed for TPS since 2010. Okay, so the next question is, uh, I filed I-130 for my family. Can I
Yes,
file 134 for a friend?
absolutely you could. I get this question a lot. It's probably for a friend from Ukraine. Absolutely you could. Because while I-134 is not an export, they don't count how you can file 100 I-134s. By the time you sponsor the family to come to America, it's not even counted. So the answer is yes.
Okay, so they don't need to show anything regarding to income.
They do, but then it's not a legal obligation. 864 is a legal obligation. I'm supposed to support them for 10 years until they become a citizen. And they should not be getting government funding. Otherwise, I may or may not be liable for I-130. There's no legal liability.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Wong, for your answer. And our time is up. It's already 1 p.m. and 1 minute after the hour. So, Miss Wong, if you want to give some advice to people, uh, we know Thanksgiving is next Thursday, and this year has been interesting, but so far, uh, the pandemic is over after 2 years. We've had some other issues, but we are here. We're still alive.
Yes. So my advice at this point is every morning I get up, I got this cold. The office is running around with this virus, and I thank destiny, God. Or I'm just very grateful we are here. Number one. Number two is work permits are remaining very, very slow. Remember, you have the 1 year automatic extension. DACA doesn't qualify, so go on the web and check out if your type of work permit qualifies. Number three, whatever benefits, I have a lot of calls from people, clients just say, I already filed for asylum. Do I need TPS? I already have TPS. Should I file for asylum? I already have TPS. Should I file for parole? You always use whatever benefits you at this time now and file it because laws are changing by the day. We have clients who had TPS, never filed for parole, and then Trump came in and denying all the paroles, no more parole green card, and now it's coming back. So I sort of feel sorry for them because they never did it. So these are things that whatever you're entitled to, don't be scared, don't be afraid. You should not work from fear, you work from strength.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And I'll keep that in mind. Work from strength and not from fear. You just mentioned this. This person is asking, how long do we need to wait for a work permit?
3 months to 12 months. Cases that were filed like in February or March, they're approving now, even April. Cases that you filed last year between September and December, I've seen a lot of cases not approved. So use that automatic 540-day extension, the 1 year extension.
Ok, thank you so much. Nos dice la abogada que tardan entre 3 a 12 meses, pero que curiosamente ha visto permisos de trabajo que fueron aplicados en abril de este año y ya han sido aprobados, y ha visto algunos que fueron solicitados en septiembre del año pasado, septiembre, octubre del año pasado, y todavía no han llegado, pero que igual hay que aplicar por la extensión automática de un año, de la que habló el presidente Biden y el señor Mayorkas hace algún tiempo, y con eso por lo menos se puede aplicar la extensión automática del permiso de trabajo. Thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for all your answers and for your heart. We know that there is some snow in Cleveland today, so I love that. I miss the snow there, but it's really cold here in Atlanta as well. So thank you so much. Have a good weekend, and looking forward to see you next week.
Thank you. Same here.
Thank you so much. And for everybody who has joined us today, don't forget you can call. The phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. Attorney Margaret W. Wong, who has over 45 years of experience working on the immigration field. 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984.